G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. So in this video we are going to take a look at the SSBE Super Saiyan Evolved Vegeta, and we're going to just get a good look at his kit and what he brings to Dokkan, being one of the global first LRs. So the first thing is his leader skill. It is the Powerful Comeback and the Representatives of Universe 7 category with 3 key plus 170% across the board. Then we have his super attack effects. Both his 12 key and his 18 key are the same, and it's not a unit super attack or anything like that. So he gets basically a 50% chance to crit on every single hit after the first attack, if I believe that to be correct. Then we have attack and defense plus 150%. Reduces damage received by 10% plus an additional 10% whenever an attack is received in the same turn, up to 30%. 1 key plus for every single attack performed, and then the medium chance of launching an additional super attack if there is 50% or more at the start of turn. He will, so basically, if your health is at a certain threshold and he's taken 4 or more hits, you will be able to revive with his revive skill, or if one of your allies is hit, you'll be able to be revived with his revive skill. And then he also has an active skill, which is a AoE super attack. In terms of build, you're going to want to build these guys all additionals due to the greater chance to crit on their super attack effects, which means basically you don't need to bother too much with criticals because these guys are going to be critting all the time. Then in terms of links, we have Fierce Battle, Prodigies, Tournament of Power, Legendary Power, Royal Lineage, and Prepared for Battle, which are pretty good link set, but kind of typecast him a little bit. He's okay on like a Pure Saiyan's team if you link him with another Vegeta, but otherwise he's a bit limited because one of his main key links is Tournament of Power, and even though he does generate key from performing additional attacks, that does just mean that you're going to possibly miss your 18 key in your first turn. It also means, of course, that he's kind of typecast into having God transformation Vegetas on his team. In terms of categories, he has plenty. You'll see them popping up on the screen right now. He has tons of categories, so if you do get this guy, he can be a valuable piece as a floater or as a mainstay in pretty much any of your teams. He does not have any defense building capabilities, but the reason we are putting additional on him is due to his innate great chance to crit, which means putting criticals on him isn't a waste of time. It's just not as preferred to max out his damage. No need to build any additional defense on this guy. He will have a solid level of defense. The 150% defense plus the potential 40% damage reduction if he only receives a couple normals before taking a hit basically means that he's, pretty insanely tanky. I mean, 40% defensive damage reduction on a unit that can have 160, 170k, 1000 defense is pretty nuts. But we'll try him out on the Representatives of Universe 7 team. Here he has 177% across the board lead in the Goku and the Frieza. And then of course we have him. We're going to link him up with the other Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, because that means he's going to have a really solid linking partner, and then we will take it from there. So in terms of this Vegeta, I think keeping him in main rotation is obviously the way to go. He is definitely going to be a unit that is really good and is going to scale well with the amount of dupes you get, because it's going to increase his base borderline defense, which means that he can take normals long before he will start triggering his damage reduction. The only real threat to Vegeta is that he gets hit by a super attack before he builds up his damage reduction. Vegeta is slightly different to Goku in that Vegeta is basically the kind of unit that is a lot more stable because he has damage reduction. It is a flatline calculation that can be manufactured and built in, rather than being like evasion, which is an RNG proc. So Vegeta is a lot more stable in terms of calculating and evaluating how much damage he'll take, but he's a little bit less stable in terms of obviously that kind of like god level proccing of evasion that might make Goku, not take any kind of attack. So we're sitting here with 150, 160 or so K defense on a 55% unit with no defensive equips. We aren't linked with Vegeta, so we are still missing a couple links that might give us a little bit more defense, but Vegeta's links are not defensively orientated. They do not gain a lot of defense as they level up. It's more attack based, which is fine because that kind of fills in where Vegeta is somewhat lacking as an LR unit. The crits also make up, so even though his attack stats might seem a tad low, the crits will make those obviously hit a lot harder than they are deemed to be. So 2.2 million there on his 12 key attack, which is pretty good. We don't have the perfect linking partner, we don't have his 18 key, so 2.2 million is really good, plus the fact that he has obviously that baseline ability, 2 additional, and of course 2 crits on his attacks, so we don't have to worry too much about anything. 2.2 million, really good, and he had about 160k thousand defense there with 10% damage reduction, and obviously increasing the more he gets. The revivability also will come in handy in a lot of stages, so right now Vegeta and Goku do look like the two, I don't want to say outright best, but probably definitely two of the better units for definitely short term or what I want to say out the bat hard hitting content, like ESBR, the God Challenge, the ability for them to tank a lot of hits, and even if you get into trouble, to revive you is a very powerful ability that's definitely hard to quantify. The ability to revive is obviously inanely powerful in a game where you have no continues for a lot of the harder content, so it's very good. On the representatives of Universe 7 team, obviously we can have a little bit of support for Vegeta with the Gohan and the Frieza unit, and with the Android 17 unit, but you can have support on pretty much any team. You are going to want to link Vegeta with another blue Vegeta or red Vegeta. Whoever's got godly power and has royal lineage basically is going to be his best friend. Prodigies as well. So Vegeta's transformed, which gives him basically perfect links. We're just missing godly power, unfortunately, and legendary power, which is a little bit of an attack link, but that's okay. We have 162,000 defense, which is really good, and so we're just missing 1 or 2 links, which is not bad. We obviously got all the key links, which means getting his 18 key is going to be a lot easier. We've also fired off 1 attack, so we have an additional key, which is obviously really good. And then we'll try out his active skill, and we'll just keep quiet during that time so that you guys can enjoy the animations. So yeah, really cool attack animation there, obviously for his active skill. It doesn't seem to obviously be the strongest active skill. I mean, it's quite strong. It did manage to eliminate the 2 enemies, but it didn't kill the type advantage enemy, which obviously is something to keep in mind. So we have 162,000 defense here. Vegeta doesn't gain the most defense from his links with the other Vegeta, and we do have a 20% support sitting on this rotation, so we are looking at pretty solid numbers from Vegeta. So it's really good for a 55% unit, so yeah, nothing really to be too disappointed in. So yeah, some really good defensive numbers. And then of course 3.4 million in terms of his attack stat there. It's quite difficult to see with how his attack animation kind of pushes out his attack stat there, but this was 3.4 million. If you slow down the video or pause screen or something like that, you'll see the stat there. 3.4 is really good. Obviously at 55%, unfortunately he only has his passives chance to proc, but at anything above 55% with some additionals in them, you're obviously going to have the passives chance to proc, and then you will also have the hidden potential systems chance to proc, and then you can also proc another additional off of the passive itself. So quite a few ways to proc attacks there, and then we didn't get a crit in that situation, but he obviously does have that built-in crit chance on his super attack, which is quite interesting. We don't see that a lot anymore, anything like that, so yeah, it is quite interesting to see. And it is something well, nice that they've brought out for these units. Makes them pretty easy to build into. So overall, really cool. So here we are with Android 17. Obviously Android 17 has a much higher defensive support, and we can see that in how we have 180 or so thousand defense. 180,000 defense at 55% is really good. And with the fact that he can get 40% damage reduction in most events, 55% Vegeta will actually be fine if he takes some attacks before he gets hit by a super attack. That's kind of his benefit over Goku, where, like I said before, whereas Goku is more RNG based, Vegeta is not. Vegeta is less RNG based and is more like a stable defensive unit, especially in events like the LGE GT, where evasion is disabled. Goku's going to have a much larger fall off than Vegeta, who, you know, even if evasion is disabled, will still increase and proc that damage reduction. But beyond that, yeah, still very good. Obviously 3.1 million there, losing the attack buff from Gohan and Frieza as a support obviously reduced the amount that Vegeta does in terms of damage, and we didn't manage to get any of the procs of additionals. So yeah, unfortunately we didn't see too much offensive output from Vegeta, but still some really good numbers, you know, especially for a 55% unit that's not fully link leveled. You know, 3.1 million, really good numbers in terms of attack. It is on a higher, you know, team lead than most situations, but it's still really good. And that chance to crit and the built-in defense, the revive mechanic, the active skill, he's got a lot going on for him. So at 55%, very impressed with that display there. And then we'll just quickly move on to a display. Here we're going to switch over to a powerful comeback / pure Saiyans hybrid team. Yeah, it is a little bit weird, but it is something that we're going to roll with. We're obviously using the blue Vegeta as our lead. This is going to reduce his stats a little bit across the board. He's not got that 170% average as before. It's a little bit lower in terms of HP and things like that, but it's not anything too crazy. This Vegeta here does have a couple dupes in him, so it'll be nice to see that difference in numbers, which we should still see even with the different level of leader skills. The team, powerful comeback, it's not really, you know, the most impressive category or new category they've added to the game, and it definitely seems a bit wonkier, at least with my kind of box, than the Miraculous Awakening category that Goku has. But, you know, overall, it's not too big an issue. It's still quite a strong team. It's just got a little bit of linking problems from what I can see. But beyond that, it should all be fine. And yeah, interested to see what his attack stats will be and what we'll get out of this version of Vegeta, so to say. So yeah, but overall, Vegeta is still really good. Obviously, he himself leads the Universe 7 category, so that can always be your fallback category. He shares some decent links with MUI Goku here, so we'll get a look at all of that's going on, and we'll get a decent look at his attack stat numbers and everything. This Vegeta, if I am not mistaken, has 90%, so he's got 3 dupes, and you can see that in his defensive stat. He's sitting at 174,000. He's not really got any support on rotation or anything, so he's really sitting in a good place defensively at this point. You know, some support and everything would push him up to, you know, 220, 200 something odd thousand, so yeah, would be really good with his 40% damage reduction. He won't take any damage, or he won't kill you in any event, really. And we also saw 2 million or so in attack stat damage, which is really good. One thing to keep in mind, as we saw there, was that Vegeta kind of struggled with Ki a little bit there. That's not so much his link set. He obviously was missing Royal Lineage, which is a key link for him. But that is just kind of the build of both of these units. They need 1 or 2 attacks to really get going. With the support, they would have had, you know, their 18 Ki there. It's just because they don't build Ki off of orbs or anything like some of the other newer LRs. And they don't have like built-in Ki, like start of turn Ki, like +3, like they gave the strength LR Broly. So yeah, that's just one thing to keep in mind with these guys. They can sometimes miss their 18 key in the first turn. It's not the end of the world, so yeah, it's really nothing to be too upset about. Here we'll get a look at Vegeta. Obviously we're not going to change too much going on. We'll probably just test him out. 174k again. Here we should be able to get his 18 key because he's obviously built up from those 2 attacks. That's also the copies and dupes playing a good role there. Those extra attacks really helping him out in terms of getting that extra key and obviously, you know, building up that key from his passive, so that helps. And we can see with his 18 key, he managed to hit 3 million. He's obviously missing some crucial attack links there as well. No real support on rotation, and unfortunately with Blue Vegeta as a lead, the attack stat is slightly nerfed. So we can see that definitely Vegeta can hit quite hard in terms of numbers, but we're not really going to see the best offensive output of him in this, in this Dokkan event, I should say. But we've seen enough of Vegeta, I think, to definitely get a good idea of how he performs. In terms of optimal performance, obviously again additionals are really going to be where he shines. He's not a massive attack stat number unit. He's not the kind of unit that's going to hit like 20 million or 7 million or 8 million or 9 million on his actual attack stat. But all of those crit attacks are really going to add up and do a lot of damage. Remember, crit is a 1.9 times multiplier that ignores defense and type disadvantage. So it is something that is crucial to doing damage, especially in high events. It ignores damage reduction, so it really makes it super important for high level events. But now that we have got a good look at Vegeta, we can quickly take a look at his link set and do a final review of the unit. So just to obviously cover it, he has Royal Lineage, which is a key link, Prodigies, which is an attack link, Godly Power, which is a big attack link, Prepared for Battle, a key link, Torment of Power, a key link, and Fierce Battle. Most of these links do not gain defense as they level up. A couple of them do, but most of them are just increases in attacking output, barring Torment of Power and Prepared for Battle. So he doesn't gain a lot of defense from his links, but he will be gaining attack. And Vegeta also, just as a reminder, cannot have his super attack farmed. So you cannot farm Vegeta's super attack. That's not really entirely possible. So in terms of the crucial linking units, we are going to be looking mainly for units that have Royal Lineage, that have Godly Power. So we just need to change some of our settings here so that we can get some units to actually reflect. But yeah, the main abilities that we're going to want to have is Royal Lineage is a rare link. Obviously it's shared between him and Trunks units. It's a good key link for him to have and makes him vital to Vegeta family teams, and pretty much any team you're going to want to have a Vegeta that can proc this Royal Lineage on him. Prodigies is also a very important attack link. It's very good to take note that we need Prodigies because that is going to be a link that really helps and pushes his attack damage higher. Alongside Godly Warriors or Godly Power, it's going to be the pivotal link in determining his attack output. If you proc both of those links, they're quite a big boost together. So it is something that you're going to want to get, because without it, he can not hit like a bit of a wet sponge, but you know, he does lose some impact. But luckily there's a lot of God Vegetas that are really good options to use alongside this Vegeta. We have the Int Vegeta, we have Transforming Vegeta, who gains a really good matching link set once he reaches his final transformation. We also obviously have this Vegeta, who is his perfect linking partner. They link perfectly together pretty much, barring Legendary Power, so that is going to be his number one linking partner, or his go-to linking partner for the most part. Transforming Vegeta being a close second, I believe. But beyond that, obviously Fierce Battle and those kind of common links are not really too much of an issue. Most Vegeta units and Saiyan units will have Prepared for Battle, and then if you want to and you're going to run a Universe 7 team, Tournament of Power is not going to be a hard link to proc. These are the prime Vegetas to take with them. It's always interesting to see that Android Vegeta here, that Android Saga Vegeta, because he is actually got great links for a lot of these big time Vegeta units. Transforming Vegeta is a really good pairing partner with him. Unfortunately, they can't be on Universe 7 together, but they can run on the pure Saiyans together and worthy rivals. So there's plenty of categories to run them on, and they're really good. It's a pity that he doesn't link too well with the SS2 Vegeta from the Majin Buu saga, but you know, it's not too bad. They do share some links, so it's not too bad overall. Obviously, Tournament of Power is a pivotal link for Vegeta, so there's a couple units that can pick up a couple links with him. Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, Prepared for Battle are all big links and Godly Power. So you can see here there are some units that you can run next to him if you don't have Vegeta or you don't have one of the Vegetas to run with him. MUI Goku's got a ZZA is going to be a good link for him. Kaioken Goku is again there as always, and even Toppo and Jiren are solid options to run next to Vegeta. Toppo gives obviously his support bonus as well, so that is a viable option for you to run next to him. So no need to discount out Vegeta. He's got a lot of good options, especially for the Universe 7 category. If you're running him on any other of his categories, just run him alongside one of the aforementioned Vegetas. Obviously, Goku is also a good linking partner with him. They share 5 links in total, so those will reflect on screen, and those are really good. So if you have both, you can obviously run them as a pair. But that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know down in the comments how you are finding Vegeta. And yeah, stay safe, and until the next video, bye!